Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Aarushi, cosmetic dermatologist from Sense Aesthetics, New Delhi. Today I would like to share a little piece of information with you all on sunscreens. We all know sunscreens protect our skin from the harmful UV rays of the sun, and the importance of applying sunscreen to our basic skincare regime cannot be emphasized enough. I often hear common queries and concerns from my patients in day-to-day life regarding their confusion to the right approach to sunscreen, which I would like to share with you all today. One of the most important questions that I come across is, "Hey doc, our grandparents never used sunscreens, yet their skin was so flawless. How is that true?" So I would like to answer that the atmosphere that they used to live in their time was much healthier, less polluted, and the protective ozone layer was much less depleted as compared to what we have in today's time. So this is what is penetrating our atmosphere and making us all more prone to the harmful UV rays. And also I would like to emphasize the fact that the diet and the lifestyles that they used to conduct in their life gave them enough rich antioxidants to fight all the free radicals that was caused by the harmful UV rays, and which most of us are lacking in today's time. Second common concern, which doesn't make most people apply sunscreen so commonly, is because they are often scared about the fact that the sunscreens are so sticky, so greasy, they make them look a little more whitish, give them a little whitish tint on their skin. So I would like to make everyone aware that in today's time we have such cosmetically elegant formulations available that give you all such nice matte finish, non-greasy touch, and a kind of a sunscreen base which gives you no whitish residue on your skin. So please, all of you must go to your dermatologist, find the right sunscreen that suits your skin type, and start applying it to see the difference it makes in your overall skin's health. And the third common question that I come across is, I break out or get pimples while using a sunscreen. So the answer is probably you're not using the right sunscreen. People with oily or acne-prone skin should be looking for a gel-based or a gel cream-based sunscreen that carry a name called non-comedogenic or oil-free on their label. That means it has minimal or no potential to clog your pores or cause any acne. So one must be cautious of reading the labels well before using over-the-counter sunscreens, or yet better, please check with your dermatologist to have the right sunscreen for your skin type. Also, please avoid using water-resistant sunscreen in case you are acne-prone, because they are more occlusive or more heavy in nature. So just apply water-resistant sunscreens till the time you are in water or in your water sports, and just wash it off as soon as you come out, because they can have a tendency to clog your pores in the long run. Another interesting question that we all come across is that, "Doc, my skin turns dark whenever I use a sunscreen." So it can be possible. You can be one of the person who is allergic to one of the ingredient or some of the ingredients in the sunscreen. So please report it to the doctor, consult your dermatologist to find the replacement for your sunscreen. And on that note, I would like to share with you all, if there are people who somehow are allergic to sunscreens, or there are people who feel that you tend to go out a lot in the sun and cannot be applying sunscreen that very often, they can be considering something called sunblock. We all generally use sunblocks and sunscreens as an overlapping words, but there is a difference between the two. Sunblocks are the ingredients or the products which reflect off the sun rays falling on them. Like, for example, you all would have often seen cricketers putting a whitish layer on their skin while they are playing sports for long. This is actually a zinc oxide that they apply on the skin. Not that we expect you all to be applying a whitish coat of zinc oxide all the time. With changing times and improved pharma formulations, we do have some ultra fine formulations available these days that blend in so well, which are called mineral sunblocks. That means they have some ingredients, they just scatter off or reflect off the harmful sun rays falling on them. Whereas sunscreens, they use certified chemical ingredients to convert harmful UV rays into harmless rays or into heat energy. So it depends who are the right people to be using sunblocks and sunscreens. Sunscreens will need to be applied at least 20 to 30 minutes prior to you leaving out. This is one very important message that you all should be knowing. One just feels sometimes to just put on the sunscreen and then go out, but it is not true. Your skin needs around 20 to 30 minutes of sunscreen application time for it to get binded well with your skin, and for the sunscreen as a product to be activated enough before it starts giving you protection when you're out in the sun. So please apply it well prior before you leave out. And also, no matter whatever SPF of sunscreen you are applying, it is still important that you are compliant to applying it every 3 hours. Yes, there is a difference between the SPF, which is the sun protection factor, or the ability of the sunscreen to protect you from UVB rays. That depends from SPF to SPF. But I would still emphasize you all to be applying the sunscreens every 3 hours time. So people who can be applying sunblocks are probably the people who feel that their skin goes dark with the sunscreen, or people who feel that they sweat out a lot on applying sunscreen. As I mentioned, that sunscreens, they absorb the harmful UV rays and convert them into heat energy. So you can be more prone to feeling a little warm on your face, or you can be one of the person who's more prone to sweating. So in those cases, you can consider using mineral sunblocks. People who are more prone to redness or a condition called rosacea, you can be also considering a sunblock versus a chemical-based sunscreen. Lastly, any person who's not compliant enough to be applying sunscreen every 3 hours to ensure a good sun protection can also use a mineral-based sunblock right at the start of the day and apply it till the time you are out in the sun. Till the time you don't wash off your face or you don't sweat out, sunblocks will keep on having their sustained effect all through the day. Another flaw that I notice in people who are putting sunscreens is that they mention that, "Doc, I skip putting the sunscreen generally on cloudy days or rainy days." Well, I would say it is actually a blunder. If at all you all apply sunscreen on the normal sunshine days, we all must realize or know this fact that 80% of the UVA rays pass through the clouds even on the days when there is an overcast or it's a rainy day or when the sun is not showing up bright. So we all need a UV protection even on those days as well. On that note, I would also like to share that people who are out traveling or people who stay in snow-covered areas or areas which are surrounded by huge water bodies, so you should not feel that it's snowing, there is no sun, or there's ample water here and there's no sun. There's no need to apply the sunscreen, because 80% of the sun rays, they do get reflected in sun or in water. No wonder the amount of sunburns are so high in snow-covered areas, even when there is no sun, because we do need a good UVA protection even when there is snow or there is no sun. Also in the beachy areas where there's a lot of water around in the sea, because you're not only exposed to UV rays because of you being out in the sun, but also the UV rays which are getting scattered from the water body. So please ensure that you are wearing sunscreen all the time on even a non-sunny day. Yet another question that I come across is that I hardly go out in the sun. My office is just few kilometers away, so why do I need to put sunscreen? Yes, you do need to put sunscreen even if you have a very brief exposure to sun rays. Being in the car, you are exposed to UV rays falling from the glass of your car. When you are inside in a building which has glass windows, you still are exposed to UV rays coming from the glass windows as well. And especially we all need to realize that when we are working in the sharp indoor lights and when we are always constantly being exposed to the mobile screens or the laptop screens or the desktop screens, there is a certain blue light that we are exposed to, and even the high energy visible light that's there in our indoor working places that also affects our skin and can have a tendency to cause hyperpigmentation or dark patches. So again, with the evolution of science, we do have a triple protection sunscreens also available, which do give a good protection to all the three kinds of lights, not just the outdoor lights, but also to the indoor lights as well. Another common confusion, now that you're sorted in your minds that yes, you do need to put a sunscreen, then the question pops up, how do I put sunscreen? Moisturizer goes in first, or the sunscreen goes in first, or the toner goes in first, or whatnot. So as a thumb rule, I would like to explain you all that you all must be applying the skin products in the order of their consistency. That means from a lighter consistency to a heavier consistency. Your serums or the toners, they should go in first, followed by any gels, followed by a creamy based moisturizer, followed by, if at all you're putting any oil based products. So on that note, generally the sunscreens are creamy in nature, so the moisturizer can be going in the first, and always top it up with the sunscreen at the last to give you a good protective layer. On the top of the sunscreen, you can be putting on your makeup ahead. Except the only case is if your sunscreen is lighter in consistency, which means that your sunscreen is probably a gel based sunscreen. So you put that first and then top it up with a creamy moisturizer that you probably would be applying. There are certain sunscreens which are powder based sunscreen, which have mineral based compact powder as a base. So you can be again putting it up at the last of your toners or serums or moisturizers. So just because they have a particle size, that would settle in and give you a protective layer at the last of all the products which are well blended in. When we all understand how important sunscreens are to build up a good skin health, one does often wonder as a mom or as a parent that how do they protect their child right from the time they are young to prevent any kind of skin damage that they might be having while playing outdoors. So I would suggest, yes, all the children, they can be, any children which is above the age of 6 months can be safely putting the sun blocks, not the sunscreens, because they do have some chemical certified filters though, but sun blocks which are mineral based, which have zinc oxide, titanium dioxide or iron oxide as well these days, with SPF which is minimum 15, can be safely applied to children while they are playing outdoors. Next question. While on holidays, I wear my sunscreen, my shades, my hat, but I still get tanned. What do I do? So yes, those sunscreens and sunblocks, they do provide a good first line of defense to the outer layer of our skin, but one can also additionally consider using oral sunscreens. With oral sunscreen, it doesn't mean that you have to eat the sunscreen, but it's just enhancing your internal capacity of the body to fight against the harmful UV rays, which might have a tendency to get you tanned or damage the upper layers of your skin. So oral supplements that have rich antioxidants like beta-carotene, coenzyme Q10, an algae extract called Polypodium leucotomas, vitamin C, vitamin E, there's something called superoxide dismutase, which is one of the most potential antioxidant. They all as supplement provide a great defense to the skin and are a brilliant health booster overall for your body. Another concern that most people have is that what SPF should I be using? This is one of the most common questions that we all are bothered with while purchasing a sunscreen. So SPF, as I mentioned before, stands for Sun Protection Factor. So this is what provides us protection from the UVB rays of the sun. While as Indians or as Asians, we do have natural brown pigment in our skin called melanin that provides a natural protection to the sun to our skin, but still it is important for us to be protected well from the UVA rays as well, which affects the deeper layers of your skin. If at all we do not put sunscreen, so it is not only the pigmentation or the tanning or the dark patches that we all are exposed to, we are also exposed to the collagen breakdown. Collagen breakdown means the fiber in our skin that is responsible for the firmness. If that tends to break down, we all tend to have premature aging signs like fine lines and wrinkles, and we lose the texture, a firm texture on our skin as well. So it's important that your sunscreens should be having a label that says a good SPF. For Indians or Asians, SPF 30 to 50 is actually optimal, and as a part of the UVA protection, there's a mark on the label that says PA value. PA stands for protection from UVA rays. So there is a gradation on the amount of protection from UVA rays. So an ideal PA would be that has triple plus signs. So UVA protection in the form of PA value double plus 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 means it's good. triple plus, it means it's very good, and if at all it is like 4 times plus 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 plus, it means it has an excellent UVA protection. So we all need to be understanding SPF 30 to 50 is something that's optimal for our skin type. Unless your skin is super sensitive or you are undergoing some skin procedures, you might need a higher SPF sunscreen too for your protection. And UVA should be PA triple plus 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 to be seen on the labels as a part of a decent UVA protection. And how much of a sunscreen we all need to be applying? That's again one question we need to be understanding. So as per the FDA recommendations, we need to be putting at least half a spoon of sunscreen, which means roughly around 2.5 to 3 ml. Half a spoon as in a teaspoon. So at least 3 ml or half a teaspoon of sunscreen is what we all need to be amply putting out on our face and neck to have a sufficient UV coverage. Hope this information benefits you all in your journey to a beautiful skincare. Thank you.